Marcus Rodriguez had been scraping by on Kepler station for 3 months, his engineering credentials worthless in a galaxy that had moved beyond human technology. The massive orbital hub buzzed with alien commerce, but humans remained second-class citizens, tolerated, barely employed, often hungry. He clutched his last chocolate bar, a precious Earth import that had cost him a week's meager wages. The synthetic cocoa substitutes available on the station tasted like recycled cardboard, but this was real. Dark Belgian chocolate with sea salt crystals that sparkled like tiny stars. That's when he saw her. The girl couldn't have been more than 16 in human years, though with the Zephyrian species, age was always difficult to determine. Her translucent blue skin had the telltale shimmer of malnutrition, and her typically luminous silver eyes had dimmed to a dull gray. She sat huddled against the station's outer viewing port, watching cargo ships dock and undock with mechanical precision. Marcus had seen plenty of destitute aliens on the station. The galaxy's economic boom had created winners and losers across every species. But something about her stillness, the way she held herself with quiet dignity despite her obvious hunger, reminded him of his younger sister back on Earth. He approached slowly, not wanting to startle her. Zephyrians were notoriously skittish around other species. "Hey," he said softly in galactic standard. "You hungry?" The girl's head turned, revealing the distinctive crystalline patterns that marked her as young. Her eyes widened as she took in his worn human clothing and calloused hands. "I cannot pay," she whispered, her voice carrying the melodic quality of her people. Marcus smiled and broke the chocolate bar in half, offering her the larger piece. "No payment needed. We've all been hungry." She stared at the chocolate as if it were the most precious substance in the galaxy. When she finally took a bite, her eyes fluttered closed and a soft humming filled the air, the Zephyrian expression of pure joy. "This is extraordinary," she breathed. "I have never tasted anything so complex. The molecular structure suggests it originates from your homeworld." Marcus raised an eyebrow. Most destitute beings didn't analyze food at the molecular level. "Yeah, Earth chocolate. You know chemistry." A flush of deeper blue crossed her features. "A little. I studied, before." They sat together in comfortable silence, sharing the chocolate while watching the endless dance of starships. Marcus found himself talking about Earth, about the forests his sister loved, about real rain and natural sunlight. The girl listened with an intensity that seemed to memorize every word. "I should go," she finally said, standing gracefully despite her apparent weakness. "Thank you, Marcus Rodriguez of Earth." He frowned. "I never told you my full name." But she was already walking away, her form shimmering slightly in the station's artificial lighting. Something nagged at him, the way she moved, the casual mention of molecular analysis, the fact that she somehow knew his surname. 3 days later, Marcus was summoned to the station commander's office. He expected termination. Instead, he found himself facing the most powerful being on Kepler station. Commander Valeth stood 7 feet tall, her blue skin radiating health and authority. The crystalline crown that marked her as Zephyrian royalty caught the light as she turned to face him. "Mr. Rodriguez," she said, and he immediately recognized the melodic voice. "I believe we have met." The realization hit him like a meteor impact. The destitute girl, the princess of the Zephyrian Empire, had been testing the character of the various species on the station. Her people were selecting new trade partners, evaluating not just economic potential but moral worth. "Your Highness, I." She raised a graceful hand. "You shared your last meal with a stranger, expecting nothing in return. The Zephyrian Empire values such character above all else." She smiled, the same expression he remembered from 3 nights ago. "Would you be interested in serving as Earth's first ambassador to our people? The position comes with considerable compensation." Marcus thought of his sister, of all the humans struggling to find their place in the galaxy. He thought of chocolate bars and acts of kindness that rippled across star systems in ways no one could predict. "It would be an honor," Your Highness." Outside the viewport, ships continued their eternal dance, but now they carried with them the promise of a new alliance, one built not on technology or economics, but on the simple human act of sharing chocolate with a hungry stranger.